Oh, look who decided to join us today. Couldn't be bothered to be in the worst Predator maps of all time, but here you are.
No way, dude.
Back again.
Yep, I don't want to take part in that negativity. You bring me down.
You're here for more punishment as we talk about the best, or at least our favorite, combat maps in the Batman Arkham series. Let's take it away, boys.
Ooh, let's hop in there.
So the first one we have is Wayne Manor Armory from Arkham City. A DLC map, but a true road to salvation nonetheless.
There's no doubt this one was great in Arkham City too, because the Arkham City DLC was pretty good, honestly, when you look at like what they gave to us between some of the skins, and then also we got Wayne Manor Armory, and you'll see another appearance later on in this list from some others as well. But there's the Black Mask one that wasn't that good, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, the side scroller.
Yeah, that was no
didn't
good.
really fit the vibe of the game in general, and it just works weird because you're seeing it from a fixed camera angle.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So this one was really cool because we had the Predator, that was the Wayne Manor, when you were in there and you could kind of explore the room and everything like that. And I think that's in Night as well. But this one was great because it was a completely different room in Wayne Manor. You got to see a lot of it felt like Wayne Manor, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I really liked that part of it. And the combat wasn't really any different. It was the environment itself that was so interesting and new and different from the game itself. It was just a really fresh and different combat map than what we've been playing.
Well, and there's a few things that do differentiate it as well, like you're taking on Tiger Security, which happens in a few maps, but this one really made it feel special because it's like the Tiger Security came to Wayne Manor to arrest Batman.
Yeah, it's
essentially
almost,
is the idea.
Yeah, it's almost like when you have that choice in the game where you go, Catwoman can go right or can go left, to leave. And then it goes to that end credit scene. It's the voicemail of Barbara Gordon saying, "Oh, they're taking over Wayne Manor. Bruce is dead. This is what's happening." It's kind of like what would have happened if Tiger got there. Or Tiger,
in some ways it does feel like that. Yeah, and I really think that the map itself as well is fascinating in terms of actually showing you not just that room in Wayne Manor, but some of the weaponry that would be there, some of the historical artifacts that the Wayne legacy has sort of amassed over time. And honestly, Bruce doesn't care about most of this stuff. It's just there, it's set dressing to him. He cares about his family, but he doesn't care about the stuff. But that stuff is still there to maintain appearances, and because of the Wayne family name and everything like that.
The Wayne legacy.
Yeah, it's cool to see that, actually. Even if it doesn't mean that much to your boy Bruce, and he's just out there dressing like an animal at night instead of hanging out in his bachelor pad.
That's a fact.
It's still neat to see. So the next one we have, it also ties into the Wayne legacy, I guess, but we really like it because of the setting itself. That's Crime Alley. Again, with combat maps, there's only a few that really turn the concept on its head, right?
Yes.
Mostly they're the same. What's great about Crime Alley and Batman Arkham Knight, though, is that it took ideas from Batman Arkham Asylum and expanded on them exponentially, added in a lot of different types of enemies, really created more of an ambiance in Crime Alley. The details are just amazing, the way that they show it. Even when you're loading in on the loading screen, you're thinking oh, this is where Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered. You're getting into the map in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, there's some differences too, and with the Night version, it's a lot darker of a map, where in Asylum it's a little bit lighter. There's the giant moon,
Yeah.
Where this one, it's just pitch black night. You just see there's a red kind of tinge going around. And the map has a lot of significance, not only because of what, happened with his parents, but it's also because that's where the game Arkham Knight is ending, kind of. That's where you go right there, if I remember correctly. And then it takes you over into a place where you give up your utility belt, and then you go over with Scarecrow. I think that's where that happens. Then you fight a million Jokers that are popping up, and you're murdering them. Crazy things are happening in that setting. So not only the setting itself is amazing, but the significance from the story and other things behind it too it's crazy.
And it's just great art design to show for all the problems you and I have both had with Arkham Knight, right? In terms of what it could have been, the art design in the game, I don't think was ever one of them. It's just a beautiful world. Everything's very detailed.
To this day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's probably one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 4, at least, and it came out in 2015.
Yes.
And it still holds up incredibly well. So I don't know, there's just a lot impressive about this, and it really highlights what that game could do as well.
Agreed. The next one coming up here is Scales of Justice.
Ooh boy, from Arkham Knight.
That's right. We went back and forth on this one because we were looking at Blind Justice from Arkham City, which is one of my favorites. I love that map. But you made a good point. This is kind of like, I feel like, and I agree with you, I guess. I don't feel like this, but I agree with you.
Oh, you don't feel like this?
No,
agree with
that's
me.
confusing.
What are you saying?
I'm a fraud. I think that this is a updated or upgraded version of Blind Justice.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool how the giant it's like in a bank setting almost, you know. It's from like the Two-Face thing with Robin, right?
Well, you
with
have and you have like the marble floor where it's like half one, like, you know, you have the one color of Two-Face, the other color of Two-Face essentially. Black and white, you're like showing like the different sides of the character in it as well. And not only that, it's also just very open. Like it has like lots of room. It's nice. It's one level kind of, but it's raised a little bit. But it's not enough to interfere with combos. Like you have plenty of space to maneuver. Yeah, it's big. It has character. Like there's so much about it.
Yeah, and the variety, I think there's a wide variety of guys that you fight too. So it gets there's the big guys. I think there's 2 big guys that come in that make it a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, I think they have like the knives on their arms at one point.
So those are the guys you have to take out twice, I think. So yeah, there's some, it's a challenging map. It's a fun map. And I think that like the marble design, it's just the design of the map is really cool too. So I like the way that it flows and how, like you said, it's not like a constricted alleyway, which is something that I like about Blind Justice. It's just a giant, wide open, cool thing to just do whatever you want in.
Yeah, it's really great. It's like just tossing you into sort of a playground of combat.
Yes, yeah.
So the next one we debated between spots 2 and 1, I think you and me both, and we ended up going with Joker's Carnival from Arkham City for spot number 2 on this list. We love it. There's a lot about this map to like in terms of it changing the ideas of combat maps, actually like making a point banking system was something smart to do. It's infuriating at times, but it's fair, right? Like it's never unfair, except in the Return to Arkham collection where this stuff just glitches sometimes, I found, when we were playing it. Like there was the one time where no enemies showed up at all. People were invisible.
Oh, yeah.
There was another time where, like, you went to counter and he just dropped a smoke bomb, which that never happened in the original.
No, it was weird.
I don't know if some of that's from porting it and changing, you know, code or anything like that or what, but regardless, I think you have to look, like, even though this is recorded from Return to Arkham, it worked better on Arkham City original. Still works extremely well. The design of the map is what matters and the concepts behind it, and those are very unique to it.
It is, and I love the fact too that when you immediately get into the lobby, Joker's talking to you.
Yeah.
And he's talking to you and what's really fun about it is there's a level system where you can bank points. Like it's a complex map that rewards you for getting higher combos. And then when you get to a 100 combo, Joker comes in and starts fighting with you. So it's fighting against you. So it's really cool how like it's a very interactive map and based on how well you're doing. And I think the reason that we notice some glitches too is it's a map that where you can really get your combo way up there. Just from right away, you're given probably 20 guys that have no weapons, maybe a bat. And then you just go through, get your combo up to probably 30 or 40 quickly.
Yeah.
And then you get into that slow-mo and you're flowing well. And so it helps you get your rhythm going. So it's a really fun map that makes you feel like you're really good at the game, I guess, too. Because
or like, really bad at the game. Like for me, it starts to get to a point where it's like later on where like I just start to have a hard time dealing with the variety of guys. But like it is fair, you know, like it never feels unfair to me. It's just that it becomes very difficult to actually, you know, in your brain be like, okay, well, I need to super stun this huge guy, this Titan guy. Now I need to jump over here to one of the brothers and like, you know, beat him down basically, then jump over and beat him down. But like, I need to worry about this ninja behind me while I'm doing that.
Yep.
Like, it is really like making you think. And I do think that might be a problem with certain maps in the combat is they don't make you think. It's just blind X, or, you know, or square, and like dodge, okay, taking it down, okay. Oh, I can mix in a combo if I want to. I don't have to, but I can. And this really did make you switch gears and think, okay, who am I attacking now? Who's behind me? Who's beside me? What's going on? Is there someone going for a weapons crate? There's a lot here. It's so many layers to the map.
It's a very, very deep map, and it's a big map, and it needs that. And I like that it shows too, it's not just guys like, all right, round's over, we're gonna come back in, guys are spawned in now. It's let's open up this cage, and then we're gonna let more guys in. And that's how they're gonna join the map.
You even see them walk in.
Yeah,
like, it's not like they just there they are, you know, they just spawn in and appear.
No, you see them literally like cage open, here comes, it's 2 ninjas coming in, I gotta be ready for that. Like it almost is like preparing you like, here they come, now they're in the arena too.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant, I loved it. It's probably my favorite, but I I like our number one option a lot, though. Too.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Very
we
back and forth.
We went back and forth a lot. I think if one of them edges out the other one, it's by barely anything.
But yeah.
And so the final one we have is the Iceberg Lounge from Arkham City. You pointed out it's also great in Arkham Knight. I think we should address why we picked the Arkham City one, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really because in Arkham Knight, I think there's a lot of stuff that you and I just didn't like as much. Like, there's so many enemy types that it almost feels like inflated difficulty in terms of, like, they're just thrown in there to make the map more challenging versus like naturally flowing. In the original, the difficulty of this map naturally flows, you build up, so...
Yeah, and I think that's what... I agree, too, because with the Iceberg Lounge in Arkham Knight, it got to a really difficult point when there was, say, like, 4 medics. And the thing with the medics is they're not only reviving guys, they're shooting them with that electric thing that is surrounding them.
It's also hard to see in this game.
It does get harder.
Because that map is very bright.
It is, yeah. So it gets hard to see them, and then when you've got those things, which, don't get me wrong, there is, if you just bat claw them, that electric thing goes away. Yeah. But if you, which happens in all Arkham players get it, if you're aiming a little bit to the left and it doesn't register correctly, and it goes and punches the guy with the electric, aura around him, your combo's over. And now you're just completely out of rhythm, and you get annihilated for another 5 minutes. So it's a very challenging map in Arkham Knight. It's fun when you're doing well. It feels great when you get up to Killer Croc. It's a fun thing. So I think Nightwing shows up as well. So it's just a bunch of chaos. But I like the city one better too, just because it feels more open. It feels like you really get your rhythm going more. And I like the lighting and just the way that it looks better too.
Yeah, me too. There's just a lot going on in City that I think really made it unique. And not only that, it was the first time we ever saw it. It was sort of a new concept for a map. We had the obviously endless one, totally insane in Arkham Asylum, but it's a really not realized version of this idea. And this really brought in the idea of endless combat sections. They then become overused in Arkham Knight, but it's still a great idea nonetheless, and one that definitely deserves recognition from players, I think, in general.
For sure, I agree.
So hey, we hope you enjoyed our list. Definitely let us know what you think in the comments down below. What are your favorite? What are your least favorite? We'll have to do least favorite soon as well. And what we think about all those. Be sure to check out the links in the description. We've got Reddit, Instagram, Patreon. We've got a Discord. I think I'll probably link the Discord down there for you to join up with other friends who have your similar interests of gaming, DC Comics, Star Wars, everything and all in between. We'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day.